Alright everybody, welcome to another episode of Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels. We are now on episode 5, week 5 through the entirety of this series. Once again, I'm Robin.
I'm Wilson.
And we're here to give you an update in terms of just what the gaming culture, gaming community, what we're seeing in the industry, our own personal experiences with just video gaming in general.
We're doing our darn diddly arnest of trying to do this.
And what are we trying to do today? What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today?
Yes.
Well, we are talking about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which I keep wanting to call the Xbox One X for some friggin' reason.
Bad
every
marketing.
time.
It's because of bad marketing.
It's because of the name. It's just so bad. Like, then that's actually one of the problems right now that Microsoft is having. Like, for instance, the Xbox Series X is a new console that's coming out, being distributed by Microsoft. However, because it's just such bad communication, people who are trying to get this console are getting a different console. But that's something we'll talk about in a bit.
Awesome. Yeah, so essentially the topic of today's conversation is just going to be about pre-ordering brand new systems. What is it like? What is it becoming? How did we get into it? Have we pre-ordered anything? What are we excited about? And a lot of things to talk about in general. So why don't we start off with, have we ever pre-ordered a console in the past? For me, I have never pre-ordered a console before. Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah. Never done it before. This is my first time doing it. How about yourself?
Man. Yeah. So I didn't do a lot of the launches when I was younger, but I think I started with the Wii U. Yeah, the Wii U. That's funny, actually. The Wii U is my first launch console. Everything else, all my other consoles before that, I think I was getting like secondhand because I didn't have as much money as I do now.
Sneeze coming.
Oh, go ahead. Sneeze.
It's not.
Do it.
It's gone. It's gone. We're good.
Okay. Sorry, I can edit that.
So you were talking about the Wii U?
Yeah, that's fine. I can edit that out. Yeah.
I'll leave it in.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, we'll leave that in. We're gonna leave in Robin almost sneezing.
I'm probably gonna sneeze in this episode at some point.
So yeah, the Wii U. It's my first. It was my first launch console. I went to the. It wasn't really much of a launch because it happened in the morning. Usually for launches, you think of like midnight launches and stuff like that. But I pre-ordered it at Walmart. I went there the launch day, and there was like maybe 5 other people waiting. There we go. 5 other people waiting. So it wasn't really that big a deal. However, I think it was like a year or 2 later, I pre-ordered the PS4, and I went to that launch at Electronics Boutique, or EB Games, if you will, or GameStop if you're American. And it was significantly larger. There was a huge group of people all waiting outside, all excited about getting this PS4. Although, now that I think about it, I think the Xbox One was before that or after. Do you remember?
I don't, but one thing I do remember is that I do recall people lining up to get pre-orders. Not just specifically for consoles. I remember when the NES and the SNES Classics came out, there were huge lineups outside of stores. One thing that I'm noticing with this new generation, with like the PS5 and the Xbox Series One X, is that people don't need to line up. People are doing the.
It's
the
just more
online.
convenient. That's like the new thing now. If you want something, my wife is like a huge example. You want something, you go on Amazon on your phone, you look it up, and boom, like you've ordered it, and you can get it like the next day.
Absolutely, but when it comes to pre-order, I think what it does is it opens up to like almost a new can of worms. And the way that I would liken it to is concert tickets. So if there's a new concert that's announced, people have gotten so advanced that they come up with bots to be able to go in and put reservations on the best concert tickets that are available. So that's what I see gaming heading down now, is that in the past people would have to line up and they'd have to wait 12 hours, sometimes entire days to get first dibs on a console. Whereas now, it's if you're online, you go in, you can even like scrub the internet, find what's coming out. You go in and you buy multiple consoles from multiple stores. So the number of people that are getting these consoles has diminished, although the number of consoles being distributed is still the same. And that's because in the past, one person couldn't be in multiple places at once. But now that we're in this internet age, especially in this COVID pandemic, where people are trying to stay away from larger gatherings, I think that has something to do with these organizations that are allowing for online reservations, and as a result, the same people are getting multiple consoles reserved.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think COVID. Well, yes, COVID does have a lot to do with there not being larger groups, but I also think we're just in a more comfortable situation now. I think regardless, we would have had like that same situation that you're talking about with bots buying, buying all of these consoles because it's just more convenient than getting out of your house, getting in a car, and going to the store and doing that. And, there's a possibility that they're going to tell you, no, you can only have one.
Yeah.
You can't really do that online per se, especially if you're a distributor buying some for, your own store, which is what a lot of people do. Like, and that's fine. Like, you're still kind of supporting each other in that way.
And I think, another trend that we're seeing is, aside from people being able to purchase more of these consoles, the cost of the consoles themselves have gone up quite significantly. So in terms of having access to new systems on release as people might have had before, it's not the same anymore. And, it's a really great thing what Xbox is doing in terms of making it more accessible. Maybe you want to speak to this whole Xbox Access program.
Yeah, but first let me say, you're right. Those consoles are really expensive. $711 is what I'm paying for my PS5. And that's a lot. When I did my Wii U, I didn't spend that much, even when I got a bunch of games with it. When I did the PS4, I didn't spend that much, even though I got some games with it. I think I got 2 games with my PS4. I got Knack and Killzone Shadowfall, I think it is. And even the Xbox One. Like, it's a lot, and all I'm getting so far is just the console and the controller. But as Robin was talking about with the Xbox Series X, I always want to call it the One X.
That's what I said too.
Every time. So the Xbox Series X, which is already confusing enough when it's being the younger console to the Xbox One X. Like, you started off with the Xbox, then you went with the Xbox 360. That's fine. But then you go with the Xbox One. They had reasons for all of these. 360, I don't really remember. Maybe 360, 360 degrees at the moment. Oh, was that what it was?
I don't know. I just pulling shit out of my ass.
Okay, 360 all around the world. But Xbox One was supposed to be all in one place.
But it also was confusing because, like, is Xbox... Are you talking about the original Xbox? Because like PS1 set the precedent with PS1.
And that's the thing. Like, now we call the first Xbox the original Xbox. We call the other one, the Xbox One. And then they threw out the Xbox One X, which was just a higher processed Xbox One. Yeah. It had like better graphics. Then you could do like a 4K on it and just things like that. It was just faster for loading times. Now they've gone with the Xbox Series X. I think, right?
I don't even know. It's Xbox. I don't understand their marketing.
It's either Xbox Series or Xbox Series X. I believe it's Xbox Series X. And it's ridiculous because it's confusing. And it's so confusing that consumers who were going to pre-order the Xbox Series X and didn't realize it was already sold out ended up getting the Xbox One X thinking that it was the actual console. Which is just... It's bad communication. You're not really showing people what they should be getting, especially when the only option of a console is the one before it, and they don't realize that. They just want to support you, and they can't even do that properly. Yeah,
exactly. And not only that, because maybe there's parents that are trying to get these consoles for their kids, and they're not as up to speed with all of these names.
Happens
and it's
all
very
the time.
Confusing. And as a result, they think that they're getting their child the latest console. And, these consoles are coming out around Christmas time. So imagine being a kid and imagine being a parent feeling so great that you got, the latest, hottest thing that's sold out everywhere. It's like that movie Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. and he's supposed to get the Turbo Man for his son, but he ends up getting this bootleg version.
I saw that in the theater.
I love that movie. I watched it.
I actually saw that in the theater with my parents when I was a kid.
Yeah, and
it was actually really good with Sinbad.
Yeah, I loved it, and it's like you think that as a parent you've accomplished this thing. Your kid's gonna be the coolest kid on the block because he has the latest technology. And as like Christmas comes around, the kid opens it and he's just like, what the why?
It's funny. I started smiling when you said Arnold Schwarzenegger because the story that I was about to say is it involves Arnold Schwarzenegger. So kind of what Robin was saying, like the parents, they always want to try and find you the next big thing or something that you can really enjoy. So I just got a Super Nintendo, and I wanted some games for it. And my parents decided they'd go to like a video store and grab me, a used game. The used game they got me for Christmas, Last Action Hero for Super Nintendo. Nice. That game is terrible. It is so bad. The music is absolute shit. The gameplay sucks. It's very repetitive. I had no fun with it. But I do remember when I opened it up, I thought maybe it was going to be Secret of Mana or Final Fantasy or just something that I actually enjoyed, and I told them that I wanted because they gave us a huge list of games that, and I think this was like one of my first Christmases because I was a Jehovah's Witness. I was born a Jehovah's Witness, and people who don't know that, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate holidays. But that's another story. So, I gave them a list, and they gave me Last Action Hero, and I cracked it open, I looked at it, I was like, I have a code for this. And that was my response, because I knew it was going to be a bad game. It was absolutely terrible. So, yes, parents are always trying to find that thing, but because of the bad communication, like my parents, when they got me that shitty game, the same thing can happen with a console.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. And it just goes to show that, maybe that's something that the marketing team should be aware of. I feel like as though PlayStation, they have a pretty easy formula. It's a number after whatever the system generation is. There's PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, so there's not a lot of confusion there. And when you're going from 4
it's
to
just
5,
a number.
Yeah, it's very easy to discern. Whereas with Microsoft, it's a bit too convoluted.
Yeah, like you have PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. It's that friggin' simple. Xbox 360, and then Xbox One, and then Xbox X. Like, does X come after one?
Well, and I would say like Nintendo kind of did similar things because they went Nintendo GameCube to Wii to Wii U to Switch Lite.
But it's not as confusing. Except for, I'll give you the Wii to the Wii U. Yeah. That was confusing for people.
And Wii U is like the biggest flop in Nintendo's history.
Yeah, it actually is. And that was, I don't know if that had to do with the name. I think it was more just because of...
first-party titles sucked.
Well, no, first-party titles were good, but there was some that were crappy. It was just the fact that third-party titles weren't as prevalent as the first-party titles. Like, there weren't many companies making games for the Wii U, and that was more kind of why it flopped. Also, people really weren't into the whole double screen thing. It wasn't as revolutionary as Nintendo expected it to be.
Yeah.
But, thank God we have the Switch now, because the Switch is just a fantastic console. But the names aren't as bad as what Microsoft did with their consoles. Just in the name thing, I do have high hopes and I have good optimism for Microsoft because of like all these things that they're trying to do to try to get people to get these consoles.
Of course, I think what you were talking about was the Microsoft Access.
I was actually talking about, sure, I'll bring up the Access, but there was another thing I was talking about. Microsoft Access, is that what it's called?
What was it?
Xbox Access? I don't know.
Something Access.
It's a program that Microsoft is doing for people who may not be able to afford these consoles. And I think it's a really, really cool approach. I hope it doesn't, they don't shoot themselves in the foot for doing this, but it's a really, really, really neat idea. And it's something that actually I'm going to do, even though I wasn't going to get an Xbox Series X. I was, just going to focus on my PS5. But because they're going to do this, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm on board.
Xbox All Access.
All Access. Okay, sorry, we forgot that. All. Although you did say Microsoft as well. So yeah, Xbox All Access is a program that Microsoft is introducing to people. Unfortunately, it's not here in Canada yet, so that's why I haven't done it. Where you can kind of put money down. It's kind of like, you ever been to like you ever heard of like Easy Home?
No.
Pay to own places. So you go to a store, you see a couch, you're like, hey, I want that. And they'll bring it to you, and you'll start paying in installments. Usually you're paying more than what you did for the couch. So if you got like a
interest and all that stuff.
Yeah, you pay like you got a $400 couch, and after everything is said and done, you're going to be paying installments that will equal maybe $700, $800. Now that's a bad example because I don't think they're doing that with the Xbox Access program. But you do have to pay for 2 years of Game Pass. And that's not bad if you don't have a lot of games. I have a lot of games. But if you don't have a lot of games, that's actually a really cool thing. Game Pass is like this streaming service. I don't know, maybe is it not streaming?
When I was looking at it, I was taking a look at Microsoft All Access Pass, and it was saying hundreds of titles.
Yeah, so I don't know if you stream them or if you download them, but you have all of these games. I know that launch games are a part of Game Pass, and you have to pay for 2 years of Game Pass, and you get a console, and you only have to pay in monthly installments of like, I don't know, $30 or $40 or something like that. I don't know because it hasn't been introduced in Canada. I just know about the States, and I'm waiting on that, but they haven't. I'll say it again. They haven't given it to us Canadians yet. I don't know why, and my worry is that by the time we do get it, they're going to be all sold out.
Yeah. You know what my worry is? We spoke about the Wii U coming out with the lack of success for the Wii U being the type of titles that were being released on it. I just pulled up the list of confirmed PS5 launch games, and I'm just going to walk them through with you guys. So we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Astro's Playroom, Demon Souls, Destruction All-Stars, Devil May Cry 5, Fortnite, Godfall, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Observer, Sackboy. Now, is there anything that really stands out to you?
Demon Souls.
But it's just isn't that just a recreation of the original?
Godfall is also pretty interesting.
Okay.
I don't really remember what type of game it is. I'm going to say it's like a third-person kind of not God of War, but like a third-person action adventure game. I believe that's the type of game it is. But when I saw the recent video for the PS5 launch before, like I think the day of the launch, they did a video to kind of entice people. I saw a lot of titles in there, and I was like, oh wow, that looks great. Oh wow, that looks great. And when I saw Demon Souls, it looks really, really good. Yes, it's a port of an old game on the PS3, but it looks so good and so much more refined, and the controls, and it just looks faster, and
I get annoyed with all of these ports, man. Like I would rather consoles come out and like try. I understand the fundamentals behind it, where it's like you have a formula for success, so why not replicate it? But to me, it's like, try something new, try something different, and come out with some like really brand new IPs, which I feel as though consoles are not doing very much these days. PlayStation had a huge hit with Horizon Zero Dawn, and a bunch of other really good titles, but we'll get into those in another episode. We have a segment for that. For me personally, the one that I'm looking forward to the most is Spider-Man, just because I love.
Oh, what a shocker! Wow, really?
I love the PS4 version, but this is Miles Morales. So it's not the same, but I hope it lives up to the same gameplay.
Did you watch the gameplay on the video?
No, I don't like doing that. I like to just go in completely blank. I don't want to have any
expectation. It looks so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to that. So, we've talked about the history of pre-orders, how these consoles are launched, our initial perception of each one. You said you've already ordered a PS5?
PS5.
And you're thinking about getting the Xbox Series 1?
I will.
Series X?
Series there. See? He's doing it now too.
Stupid
it's
Xbox.
it's that complicated. Like it doesn't roll off the tongue as you would like. It's not good communication. But I did have one more thing. Now, you brought up the Xbox Access. What I was going to bring up is the thing that Microsoft did recently. They bought a huge company, a company that makes games for Switch and for and for Sony. Sorry, Nintendo and Sony. And now, because they've bought this company, there's no guarantee that we're gonna have these games on other platforms anymore. It's just gonna be Microsoft. Microsoft bought Bethesda. Bethesda does Doom, Wolfenstein, Fallout, Dishonored,
Skyrim. Is
yes,
that Skyrim?
yep,
Yeah.
Skyrim. Like all of these huge games that you guys all know, and there's a chance that has kind of made people decide, hey, I'm gonna go for Microsoft now. And it was it was a ballsy decision, but it was really, really well played, because I know a lot of people that after they saw it, they were like, oh, I guess I gotta get that now. I'm gonna give that a shot, because where am I gonna play my games?
Well, I think like Nintendo set the precedent. When you have really strong IP, then you're gonna do really well as a platform.
Oh, for sure.
And I think with Microsoft, what they're saying is they're honoring the current commitments in terms of the specific titles that are supposed to be cross-published or cross-released or whatever the term is. But beyond that, they haven't said anything one way or another. So you can read between the lines there and see what they mean. But definitely a huge step for Microsoft to take, and it's good timing too, before the launch of the Series X and the Series S. So great stuff coming down the pipeline from Microsoft. You said you're looking at getting into the Xbox. So what is your initial perception based on all of the other systems that you've ever played? Are you more pumped about these or less pumped, or it's kind of all the same for you now?
I don't think I'm ever pumped, to be quite honest. No, that's not true. When I saw the Switch, Breath of the Wild, we got 3 minutes left, so I'm gonna wrap this up. When I saw Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch, I was blown away, and that was something I was really, really excited to play. But when I saw the PS4 games, yeah, I wanted to play them, but there was nothing there that was just like, wow, I really got to try that. Because, yeah, I got Knack and I got Killzone. Like, there wasn't anything crazy exciting, not like Breath of the Wild did to me. For the PS5, once again, no, not really. There are games that are coming out, like Hogwarts Legacy, the Harry Potter action-adventure, maybe role-playing title. That looks really good, but other than that, no, not really. Same with the Xbox Series X. But I get these consoles not because of what I'm seeing, but because of what I'm going to be seeing. And I like being a part of the conversation. When people always ask, why do you get the console at launch? Why don't you just wait until... Why don't you just wait until the there's a newer rendition when they fixed all the bugs? And the reason I don't wait is because I want to be part of that conversation. I want to be like, hey, have you tried this? Have you seen the new menu? Have you seen like these new functions? And it's kind of cool to be, doing something in sync with like everybody else or a lot of other, first adopters of consoles. It's just nice to be part of that community.
Well, I've never been a first adopter for consoles before, but I am this time around. But I'm doing a little bit different. So I got a PS5 disc system, but I got it because I want to do it as a giveaway for Playcadia. So I'm launching that e-commerce store. That's playcadia.ca, where it's just essentially tons of games, worldwide shipping, focused on building something similar to what Lukey Games and DK Oldies has in the States, but in Canada. And coming out as a net new service, I want to get the word out. So I thought, what better way than to have a huge giveaway? So I'm giving away a PS5 disc system. So we're going to be coming up with a campaign around that. So that's my reasoning for being an early adopter this time around.
Can I have the PS5?
You can enter. You can absolutely enter. You enter through Instagram and through Facebook. But yeah, just follow us at Playcadia on Instagram or on Facebook /Playcadians, and you'll get all the deets.
Spell it.
Playcadia. Playcadia.
Oh, I thought you said Playcadians.
Well, for Facebook, it's Playcadian. So for Facebook, it's facebook.com /PLAYCADIANS.
Now, did you have to do Playcadians because Playcadia was already taken?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Hey, I'm like, hey, I'm Canadian, so Playcadian. Why not?
That's pretty clever. Now, have you checked like the Playcadia thing? Like, what's on there? What is that?
I think it's another gaming company, but it's like mobile games, but they haven't made a post in years. So maybe down the road I'll be like, hey, you guys
one of those. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody got access to it, but
dead page. Okay.
It's all good. We'll see how things go. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Did you have anything else to add for this episode?
I just want the PS5.
Oh, okay.
I want you to give me the PS5.
Okay, great. I will just hand it to you, and just forego the entire contest.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, guys. Contest is done. I got a PS5. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I'll probably sell it for like 12,000. We didn't even get into that. We didn't even talk about the scalping issue.
I mean, like, we can give ourselves a minute.
Sure.
If you want to run through it quickly.
Yeah. So after the launch, we had so many people, and what Robin was saying earlier, what Robin was saying earlier about the bots buying consoles, that was because of a scalping. Like, scalpers will go out of their way to get these bots to do that, and they'll buy these consoles, and then they'll sell them for significantly higher amounts. Like, what's the highest amount you've seen so far?
1,400.
1,400? So I was going to say like 1,200, but yeah, I might have seen one for 2,000.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't mean somebody's going to buy it.
no,
Yeah.
but they do make that attempt, and I was on Facebook recently on a Facebook selling group. Some guy was trying to sell one for like I think it was like $900, and he said it was funny. He was like, I was gonna buy one for my friend, but then he told me he had already gotten one, so now I'm selling it. And it was like $150 more, and they got destroyed on the group. Like, you don't do that. I have a big problem against scalpers. You don't buy something brand new just to sell it at a higher cost. You can do that with items. I'm fine with that. If you want to be a reseller, that's cool. But to scalp, that's a little more slimy.
No, I echo that sentiment. I think when it comes to the thing that I don't like the most is there's a lot of people that are advertising these systems at like $150. So you click on the ad and it's like, you can get my pre-order for $150, and then once I get it, you give me the remainder. So sometimes they don't even have a screenshot of the actual receipt. It's just an image of the system. And I remember there's one guy, he's like, I'm just accepting pre-orders. I have like 5 of these, $150 pre-order to reserve your spot, and then you'll get the system at a given time. And it's like, that's bullshit, man. Like, you're telling me that based off of this image, I'm supposed to give you this money. The people that end up doing it, you know, that do you, but to me that's not.
I've also seen one guy got scammed recently. Someone was posting it. They said, "Hey, I've got this pre-order for an Xbox Series. I don't want it." Guy gave him money. He said, "I'll give you the rest of the." The guy was like, "Just give me this amount, and you know you can pay the rest after." And yeah, one guy got scammed from it.
Yeah. Well, I mean. Well, good luck to everybody that's out there looking for these systems.
Don't get scammed.
Don't get scammed. We wish you the best. Don't forget to enter this giveaway. That's at Playcadia, PlayCadia on Instagram.
And remember, if something seems like a good deal, like too good to be true, it usually is.
Except this podcast.
Yeah, we're not that great.
Yeah. Well, I think so.
So don't worry.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
We don't trick you.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Boop, boop.
Peace.